1,008 miles, 2 countries, 10 locations, hidden resorts, historical sites, beach clubs and bars, capital cities, unusual natural phenomena, and much, much more. We continue our Eastern European road trip from Kavala, crossing into northern Turkey, and then following the Black Sea coast of eastern Bulgaria. Now let's hit the road. Having spent a lovely couple of days in the popular Greek resort of Kavala, we headed into Turkey. The border crossing was pretty long, even though there weren't many people at all. The Turkish are pretty diligent with their checkpoints and documents, so please be sure to double-check on the current requirements before crossing on land. Our first stop was the town of Çanakkale, which is centrally located in the Marmara region but coastal to the Aegean Sea. Çanakkale is an open-air museum because of the traces of different civilizations that called it home for centuries. And speaking of open-air museums, Çanakkale's military museum sits in a park facing the Gallipoli Peninsula, across the Dardanelles Strait, where World War I's Allied attack on Turkish forces played out. The park is scattered with old military equipment, and the Ottoman building inside the park has interesting exhibits explaining the Gallipoli campaign. A visit here is a good opportunity to further understand the battle that took place here from the Turkish perspective. The panoramic views over the water from the park are another reason to come here. But undoubtedly, one of the most noteworthy and popular archaeological sites of the world and a must-visit UNESCO World Heritage bucket list item are the ancient ruins of Troy. The myth of the Trojan War has captivated people for thousands of years and has led pilgrims, explorers, and archaeologists to search for the location where the famed conflict took place. German archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann excavated the site in 1870 and found several cities built on top of each other. A city called Troy 8 is believed to be the site of the famous Trojan War in Homer's Iliad. We continue our journey driving the long but very well-maintained highways of Turkey to a small town just 3 hours east of Istanbul. Eskişehir is one of those unknown and underrated cities in Turkey, in which one can be very pleasantly surprised. Known for its colleges and universities, it is bursting with young students, making it one of the most secular places in the country. The city planning was masterfully done as well as to go around the riverbank with loads of walking spaces, biking lanes, and even picnic areas around the river. The city has a bustling shopping street, loads of coffee and tea shops, and tons of great fish and meze restaurants, where food is of tremendous quality. There are plenty of sights for the tourists to enjoy passing by this town, one of the most famous of which is the wonderful Disney Castle Park. The green grounds of this park are of massive proportions, and a leisurely walk with a tour of the castle and snack might take up your whole day. If you end up driving around this area of the country, a stop here for a few days would be a nice little escape. From there, we head to the crown jewel of Turkey, Istanbul, formerly known as Byzantium and later Constantinople, one of the world's greatest cities and the biggest one in Europe. As the only city spanning across two continents, Europe and Asia, Istanbul has been situated at a crossroad of civilizations for thousands of years. As such, today, it is the place where European spirit meets Islamic culture, where Asia and Europe are interconnected, making it rich in cultural influences, impactful history, and majestic beauty. A city of traditions, unique mix of cultural influences you won't find anywhere else. Mouth-watering food, incredible architecture, and some of the most welcoming and hospitable people. Steeped in centuries of history, Istanbul is an intriguing megapolis with fascinating places that is sure to mesmerize you in more ways than one. We explore this capital in more detail in our One Fine Day in Istanbul video, in case you feel like diving in deeper. The drive from Istanbul to Bulgaria is super leisurely and passes by this amazing forest park that just makes you roll down the windows and enjoy the fresh pine air. The crossing into Bulgaria was uneventful and fairly quick compared to the Greek border. Our first stop on the Bulgarian Riviera was the old town of Nesebar. Situated on a rocky peninsula on the Black Sea, the more than 3,000-year-old site was originally a Thracian settlement called Menebria. At the beginning of the 6th century BC, the city became a Greek colony. The city's remains, which date mostly from the Hellenistic period, include the Acropolis, a temple of Apollo, an agora, and a wall from the Thracian fortifications. Among other monuments, the Stara Mitropolia Basilica and the fortress date from the Middle Ages, when this was one of the most important Byzantine towns on the west coast of the Black Sea. Wooden houses built in the 19th century are typical of the Black Sea architecture of the period. Our first attempt to take a leisurely sunset walk across the ancient walls was literally damped by one of the craziest summer storms ever. Having just lucked out with a parking spot, the sudden super strong rain forced us into the first door we could find, which turned out to be a cozy little Greek tavern that supplied us with the basics: roof over our heads, hearty dishes, and local wine. The next morning we returned for some revenge and were able to soak up the atmosphere a bit more. Enjoying the little shops, the freshly squeezed green apple juice, the first time I have ever tried that, and it was awesome, and making some new local friends. We decided that our home base would be on Sunny Beach, truly the most popular spot on the Bulgarian coast. Typically filled with many tourists from Scandinavia, Germany, UK and Russia, the recent travel restrictions allowed some room for more Bulgarians to actually enjoy their own coastline. The distances in Bulgaria are minuscule compared to what we're used to in America, so staying at Sunny Beach could put you in a position to explore the whole southern part of the Black Sea in a mere week. Our hotel was perfectly located, walking distance from the main beach and all the infamous party spots. There are a few beach clubs which you certainly should check out. The most popular, Cacao Beach, known for its major techno parties and world-renowned DJs. The all-white sexy Bedroom Beach, which happened to have a live MMA battle championship when we were there, which later turns into a full-on disco on the beach. And last but not least, Kiki Beach. Living in Las Vegas for the last 15 years have brought us to a state of nothing can really impress us anymore. Yet, their party production was of a high caliber, and the fun atmosphere was definitely contagious. Just 5 kilometers north of Sunny Beach is an ultra-luxury, newly developed holiday resort and one of Bulgaria's newest, hottest coastal spots. St. Vlas, also known as Sveti Vlas or just Vlas, has a lovely feeling to it. The village square is on one side of the road, and the other side is where most of the hotels and apartments are, and of course the amazing beaches and stunning marina. When you reach the sea, there's a choice of 3 beaches. The one on the left, beyond the marina, is more exclusive than the other 2, but all are just as beautiful. There are also a couple of beach bar restaurants on this side, as well as rows of parasols and sunbeds for hire, and some luxurious 4-poster bed areas with suspended mattresses surrounded by cooling drape to help keep you cool as you have a snooze. There's loads to do on this beach, including volleyball, keep fit stations, a gym, crazy golf, and you can also hire jet skis if you want something a bit more exciting. The first beach bar we spotted seemed perfect enough for us, so we settled there and enjoyed the chilled out atmosphere in posh bean bags coupled with sangria and live entertainment. In order to cool off a little bit before dinner, we decided to check out the bar at the other end of the beach, next to the marina. It has a very attractive entrance with large seahorses at each side, leading to a circular bar area surrounded by comfortable sofas with huge cushions. It was on my list because it had been made popular in one of my favorite Bulgarian mafia shows called Undercover, in which some seriously dangerous characters were plotting their next moves over cocktails here. And since we're on the subject, choosing a cocktail from their menu which resembles a Lord of the Rings trilogy was a mission. As it comes to the dinner spot on St. Vlas, the results are in, and they're not even close. By far, the Levant fish restaurants surpasses in terms of view, service, wine selection, and of course food. If you only get one thing here, let it be the steamed mussels. Incredible. The marina is an absolutely beautiful area to walk off dinner. After checking out of our sunny beach hotel, we took the coastal road up north towards the Bulgarian sea capital of Varna. On the way there, however, we discovered a truly amazing hidden gem of a resort called VAYA. Ultra-sleek modern architecture, pristine private beach, and next-level beach bar and restaurant from which to peacefully enjoy a world-class lunch or amazing cocktails. They even had that little fun traveler's passport game in which you can collect country stamps based on the thematic cocktails you try. The food was even more spectacular than the night before, with that precision of presentation and ingredient selection. We would most certainly like to spend a few extra days here next time, even if off-season, since the place is truly a remote oasis. North of Varna, you have a couple of more popular sea resorts like Golden Sands and Balchik, which we will leave for our next trip. So after passing through the sea capital, we split off from the coast and headed back to Sofia, but not without some very interesting stops along the way. The first one of which is hard to find unless you know about it, and totally worth the detour. Pobiti Kamani, upright stones or fossil forest, are calcareous columns formed by natural forces. They exist at an astonishing scale. The monument is comprised of smaller and bigger stone groups distributed in 8-kilometer-long belt. The stone columns vary in size, up to 10 meters high, and up to 2, rarely 6 meters diameter. Some of them are solid, when others are hollow. Some of the columns have been eroded by wind and water into fantastic forms. The desert-like environment surrounding the columns possesses specific flora and fauna. From a geological point of view, the Pobiti Kamani is a unique phenomenon with global significance. They reflect both a fossilization and size that are unique in the world. In addition, the biodiversity in the territory surrounding the stones increases its value. The surrounding environment contains significant habitat in Bulgaria for 4 globally threatened, 2 threatened, and 8 protected plant species. The total number of vertebrate and invertebrate species with conservation value amounts to 52 separate species. Several protective orders have been issued since 1937, and the monuments are now classified as a protected area. UNESCO has the sites on their tentative World Heritage List. But researchers would like to see the stone forest become a national and European geopark. This is because they possess a tremendous opportunity for scientific research and can offer many educational benefits. The Pobiti Kamani stone forest is unique in the world. It is one of the few places where visitors can travel back in time to get a glimpse of a 50-million-year-old Bulgarian sea. We followed this tremendously unique natural phenomena with one equally significant in the historical realm, and one of Bulgaria's most incredible sights. The Madara Rider, representing the figure of a knight triumphing over a lion, is carved into a 100-meter-high cliff near the village of Madara in northeast Bulgaria. Madara was the principal sacred place of the First Bulgarian Empire, before Bulgaria's conversion to Christianity in the 9th century. The inscriptions beside the sculpture tell of events that occurred between AD 705 and 801. The Madara Rider is a unique relief, an exceptional work of art created during the first years of the formation of the Bulgarian state at the beginning of the 8th century. It is the only relief of its kind, having no parallel in Europe. It has survived in its authentic state with no alteration in the past or the present. It is outstanding not only as a work of Bulgarian sculpture with its characteristically realist tendencies, but also as a piece of historical source material dating from the earliest years of the establishment of the Bulgarian state. The inscriptions around the relief are, in fact, a chronicle of important events concerning the reigns of very famous Khans, Tervel, Hormissos, and Omertak. There is so much more to say about the interesting Bulgarian history that enveloped here, but we recommend you experience the magic of this place yourselves and learn all about it in person. There were many more places to visit on the way back to Sofia, but unfortunately our time didn't allow for it. And after all, we had been on the road for about a month at that point. So it is always good to leave something to look forward to. Bulgaria has a few major highways, but we wanted to make our trip more scenic and nostalgic. So we took the old roads that follow the Balkan mountain and passed through endless sunflower fields, gorgeous sunsets, and finish off winding through the Iskar River Gorge, which I personally hold very dear and near to my heart, as it is the place I called my childhood home. Check out the first part of our Eastern European adventure, in which we drive through Western Bulgaria into the northern Greek mainland. And if you are in the Wild West mood, enjoy our road trip video of the Great American West. Subscribe to our channel for more travel inspiration, and remember, time is travel.